Hi, folks. I'm Nate Lampton, and this is the July 10th, 2025 Backdrop Dev meeting. We get together every week to talk about development priorities for Backdrop CMS. We've got a handful of folks here today. I'm Nate Lampton. I'm Quick Sketch on the internet. I'm the technical lead for the Backdrop CMS project. I'm joined here by Ben and Martin. Martin, would you give yourself a quick intro?
Hi, I'm Martin Price, Yorkshire Pudding in around Backdrop, and I'm a Backdrop developer in Northeast England.
Great. And Ben, could you give yourself a quick intro?
Hello, my name is Ben. I am based in Asheville, North Carolina, and I work for Giant Rabbit.
All right. Thank you, folks. So yeah, a general state of where we are right now. The Backdrop 132 release is going to be coming out September 15th, so we still have the second half of summer to get that release all prepared. The feature freeze will be September 1st, except that that's almost always holiday. I think it's Labor Day. And so really the feature freeze will be September 2nd. But yeah, we have a couple months yet to go before that feature freeze. And yeah, we have some time yet to make some substantial features for the 132 release. We'll get into that in just a little bit about if there's major issues that we're seeing progress on. But before we do that, we like to do a little contrib update. In the last week, there was one new contrib module released, Simple Hierarchical Select module, uh, which looks like it's a term reference widget replacement. I imagine it's a simplified version of the hierarchical select module, which is quite
Yeah.
complex. So is this a module that you did, Martin?
No, Justin and Laren are the maintainers, but I fixed a bug which helped to enable it to then be released. So
Yeah, great.
Is
Yeah.
this one a Drupal port?
yeah,
Yeah, right.
Yeah, it's namespaced under SHS for people looking for it. So that's great. Um, let's see. For discussion, let's see. Martin raised issue 6900 again as an issue that we're trying to make progress on. I'll share my screen real quick so we can look at it together. Here we are. So this got some updates this week. Martin, what's the overview of it and what still needs to be done here?
so the overview is if you um, the simplest example is with the paragraphs module. If you create a field on a node called name, and it automatically gives it the machine name of field underscore name, and then you install paragraphs, you can actually you can actually add an instance of that field to paragraphs, and it'll let you when you try to save any content using that, then you'll get a fatal error. Um, so this basically now sort of tries to prevent that instance being added to that entity type, and it um, uh, and also provide a warning when someone goes to update an existing field that has that. Now, um, when I was doing this, we weren't able to do a throw new field exception on the update because it basically created a fatal error, which is not good. So instead, we use backdrop set message to set a message and give it a type of error, so that they'll be able to do their update, which is neither here nor there because they won't be able to use it, and then they'll get a message. But so someone again has raised the query is, why can't we do a throw new field exemption for this? Why, when we've got the file is littered with lots of throw new field exemptions that I'm presuming don't create fatal errors. So why does this one create a fatal error?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that's a good question. And probably what this means is that somewhere there is the save handler for um like the submit handler for updating a field or saving a field is probably trying to save the field, but then it's probably wrapped in a try statement that says try to save the field, and if an exception occurs, catch it and then show a message instead. And I'm betting that what happens here is that the create new field form or submit handler might be doing a try and then a catch, but the update might not be. And that might be what we need to do here is find the submit handler for saving a field instance and then wrap it in a try and a catch statement.
I think you might be able to see it in that pull request just by clicking to expand upwards, because I think it is just a bit further up. Yeah, this one, field update instance.
Yeah, well, this is still the API functions.
Right.
This is in the CRUD file. We'd have to go and find the.
Ah, right. Okay. So would it be in the entity? No, it wouldn't be the entity.
It'd be in the field UI module somewhere.
Right.
I bet.
Okay.
And maybe that's what needs to happen here. Let's see, field create instance. Let's see if we can find this on the docs website. Oops. So field update instance, okay, and then you can find the places that call it. Field UI, field edit form submit. That sounds like it's probably
Yeah.
where it is. And I got the zoom controls in the way. Okay, so it does do a try. So field update field, and it says catch. Attempt to update field label.
It should be not just exception there. That's the problem, right? The other one's field exception.
Yeah, field exception. This will catch
Or-
all
Oh,
exceptions.
well, okay.
Yeah, every single one of
Because
them.
field exception just extends exception.
Oh, okay. So that's not the problem.
Oh, there's also field update instance, which I wonder if that. Okay, so this throws an exception too. And maybe this might be where our problem might be happening. So field update instance also throws exceptions, but you can see there's no try catch around here,
Yeah.
which means that if this is where an exception is getting thrown, it's not gracefully handling it. It will cause the whole page to error out as an unhandled exception. So maybe that's it, but I think that yeah, somewhere in here is where we need to be working. Yeah.
Mhm.
So this is edit form submit. And this is all about updating. Let's see if we can find the uh okay, so field update field, but then there's also, is it field create field? Yeah. So let's see what field create field does. So it's probably, again, lots of test coverage here. Field UI overview. Oh, right, because the
Yeah,
way fields are created, they're created from the
yeah,
overview. So yeah, so okay, so here it wraps both the create field and the create instance both in try statements. So that this is probably why. Well, I don't know. I'm guessing here that if the
yeah,
instance is where the exception is being thrown, it
yeah,
catches both of them and not just the
yeah.
creating
Because
of the field.
we do see that set message. There was a problem creating field label and then followed by the exception message when we tried to create it. So we are seeing that. So we're just obviously not seeing it on. Let's see if I can find it.
Yeah, if we wanted to treat these things differently, what I would think would make sense, and maybe this is overly complicating things, but in this pull request, so so first of all, I do think that we should just be throwing an exception either way, but and not using backdrop set message inside of the CRUD
Mhm,
file. But if we wanted to make it so that the form and the submit handler had different handling, like, this actually does throw an error and not a warning.
mhm,
Okay. Well, where I was going with this, and maybe this isn't going to be relevant, is that we could start making more than one type of exception being thrown here. Like if we needed to discern between, these different types of exceptions, we could potentially create something like what would this be? Like you could make like field duplicate exception, where it's like, or field conflict exception to specifically throw a different kind of exception for a different kind of error, if we needed to handle them in different ways. But since this is ultimately throwing an error message, it's going to be the same. Like it's just going to be it's still going to be an error message, and it's going to be handled in the same way. And that's probably out of scope for this because like all of these field exceptions, like they're just all over the place. And if we start uh separating out different types of exceptions for different types of field problems, then that could turn into quite an undertaking.
yeah.
But yeah, I think that this might does that sound like that might give you an avenue to explore?
Um, Possibly.
It,
Um,
it does start to become, I mean, even that of like, we got to start updating the field UI um update form starts to become, it starts to feel a little bit out of scope, but oh, sorry, go ahead. I didn't mean to interrupt.
um, no, I don't think I was saying anything. I was
Okay.
just trying to scroll through and work out that. Yeah, so okay, well I'll have a look further back and see.
Yeah. So I think this is where we need to be. Field UI, field edit, form submit.
Yeah.
And I think that this try statement is correct, but we may need an additional try statement around here. I think that
Yeah,
that's my guess.
okay. Um,
And I think it's fine that these are separate. Like we'll just do the same thing again.
and so yeah, so a try and a catch.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, okay. I'll give that a go.
Yeah. And then in this part of the uh gosh, I lost it. Yeah, and then in this part of the pull request, we should just be able to remove this part and just
Yeah.
always throw the field exception.
Yeah, the what I'll possibly do is because it is a separate message, because it's one thing if they haven't created it yet and we're stopping them, that's quite easy. We just say you can't do it. But if
Uh-huh.
they're trying to update one that already is, we actually want to tell them we're not going to let you update it, but you actually have to delete this because you're not going to be able to save any paragraphs with this type. I mean, I'm using paragraphs as the example because that's how I found it, but it could be any custom entity that has this
Yeah.
issue. So we do need to actually give a different message when we do it.
Yeah. Now that I've seen that this is inside a field validate instance and not field validate field, that makes me even more confident that this is where that needs to be, that exception
Yeah,
needs to be caught.
yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
great. I will give that a try. Thank you.
Okay. Great. All right. Let's see. Other things that came up in this past week. If we take a look in Zulip here. Uh I thought this is great that IndigoZella, as always, is keeping on top of CK Editor updates, and there's a new release of CK Editor. Uh you can tell she's not thrilled with their behavior because they broke their APIs again in
I'm
version
a bit
6.
suspicious. I think they've got a spy in our community, and whenever Indigo Zella says, "Oh yes, managed to do it," it's right. We're going to try harder to break it next time.
Didn't this just happen a month ago? This is crazy.
We just updated to version 45 a couple weeks ago and successfully got around a whole major backwards compatibility break. Um, but yeah, significant amount of changes that may affect your integration. So yeah, this is not, yeah, we'll see. They did a bunch of renaming, but um, I wonder tables with changed import export names. Okay, so this is what they did a bunch of renaming on. Oh boy. Oh boy.
Oh my gosh,
How can they
I'm really
expect
hope
people to do
that
this
all
once a
the
month? This is
changes.
nuts.
yeah. I'm really hoping that
Cool.
even though this is a lot of changes, I'm really hoping that what we see are pretty minimal. Because what a lot of this is like this kind of stuff where stuff has been changed to add an underscore in front of it. What they're doing here is um they're specifying these things as being internal APIs that shouldn't be used by plugins in the first place. And so hopefully the number of plugins that use these internal APIs is already not almost low to non-existent. But I'm a little worried about this because our link plugin in particular uses a bunch of stuff that that might be considered internal now, like this open link, for example. Yeah. Oh boy. So I was optimistic until I actually pulled open this file just now. So now I'm a little concerned because I had thought that it was just had to do with the import statements, that they just changed the names of the modules that are being imported, but it's definitely more than just changing of the names. It's changing of a huge number of methods and functions inside of each one of these plugins. So that's alarming. But yeah. CK editor. This is, yeah, it's just baked into their development culture, it seems like, that they really just don't care.
Makes
Well,
you makes it a rare but a very valued thing that Backdrop we think so carefully about the onward implications for any major changes, and we think how's this going to affect backward compatibility and how do people upgrade from this to this, and we do actually care quite a lot about that and try to make sure that it's as seamless as possible for people.
yeah, let's see. This is uh okay. So first of all, this is the issue 6904. Um which looks like we haven't posted an update yet. This is just 2 weeks ago that we got it updated to the previous version. But yeah, we'll add in, oh, she did already go ahead and add in 46 here. But the pull request that we added here, this may be actually really good, that the foundation of this compatibility here may further help us prepare, in that these are the renames that happened between version 44 and 45, that they just moved where stuff was. Like it had been under segmented into core and UI. And then they just put them all into the root instead. And so we aliased everything from the new location, like this, to the old location, and then flagged it with the deprecated doc block so that it shows up if in your IDE is being deprecated. So all you need to do to upgrade, well, you don't need to do anything because it does the mapping, but to avoid the deprecation, you just drop the word core or drop the word UI and start using each one of these. But what we may end up seeing is that either these names change, but these are just the names of the plugins, and from what we saw in that list, it's actually the methods inside of plugins that have started to change as well. Yeah, we'll have to see how much effort that is worth, like if we want to start mapping those things, because that's an enormous number of changes. Oh boy.
I
Well,
wonder if somebody else, somewhere else did some sort of plugin to map all those. It might be worth looking into.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, right now this is on the cutting edge of it, right? We might be able to dig around in the CK editor issue queue and see if other people are complaining. Because complaining
Yeah,
does seem
right.
to work a little bit. Like we complained, that they were dropping the DLL loading structure that we're using and Drupal's using. And they extended the deprecation lifetime a year. So they didn't stop doing it, but they slowed it down a little bit and supported the old method for a little bit longer, that we're still using in the current release, but we won't be once we get onto Backdrop 132. We'll get off of the old loading mechanism. But yeah. Oof. Okay. Let's see. I don't think we have other really big issues that have been flagged for discussion. I'll reiterate that my apologies for being behind on code review. Not only are there a lot of things for review, there's a ton that are ready to be committed. Well, 10 issues. And yeah, I'll get to these as soon as I can. I'm gonna be a lot more freed up at work here after this week, so I'm hoping that'll translate into more attention on these backdrop issues. All right. Well, anything else, Ben and Martin, from your side today?
No, I think
Okay.
it's worth giving a shout out to Vicky Lays, who did her first pull request on a Contrib project yesterday. With a bit of support, she with the help of ChatGPT, she'd managed to find the how to update the module so it worked with PHP 8, and we walked her through getting the pull request in. So that's we'll hopefully get her hooked on submitting pull requests. So
Yay, that's great. Yeah, I do hope um yeah, I really like the composition of our developer base, and I really hope that we'll be able to hook in, new developers, people that really are new to in the entire world of web programming. We inherited a lot of things from Drupal 7 that kind of already was when Drupal had started the transition to being really, really high-end developer oriented, but we've been, slowly trying to improve the situation to make Backdrop more new developer friendly. And so I love hearing stories like this of like someone that is, yeah, just encountering a problem. They're not a developer, and then they get introduced to fixing these problems, even if it's with assistance of AI. Like that's great. Like if they can get things done, then I hope they'll stay and be a part of our community.
mm.
Great. Okay. Well, thanks, Martin. Thanks, Ben. We'll wrap it up for today. A short meeting, and yeah, hope to see everybody out there on the internet. And yeah, keep on backdropping. So thanks, everybody.
Thanks, everyone.